What's up, guys? It's HD, and I'm coming at you guys with another installment. I know, and it's gonna be the first in the first of this type of anime mini until it ends. But it's the Taku and Me fairy tale version, and I feel like I have to go back to a little bit before and right at the time arc when they come back after the 7-year gap. I think that's important. So this is where I'm gonna start, is at episode 124, and I might go back 122, 124 back through there. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the gameplay. It is 13 and 23. I know this was like my second game of PC, and I pushed it. Team deathmatch, kill confirmed. And we won it by one. It was intense. I was like, oh god, I can't die. And this guy pulls it off. We won. And yes, I was so happy. But I think I'm going to go back and now talk about the fairy tale. And I think it's pretty important to start at 124, because it's talking about the 7-year gap. And I'm going to go a little bit before, so here we go. 7-year gap. It was the fairy tale team going for their level S exam. It was Natsu, I'm trying to remember, I'm sorry, Natsu, Lucy, and a couple other people. There were very big fights between the Grimoire Heart, I think it is, and they were all, Grimoire Heart was going for this man named Zeph. Please excuse my pronunciation, see? But they're going after this man, and he is the person that from what I was watching, brought in black magic, or one magic, or the closest to one magic. And as he kills Hades and they're leaving, he says something about, this dragon. And when I'm thinking, before he says dragon, he's like, I'm gonna try to pronounce this, guys, here we go. Akaloniaga. Yeah, it's a dragon. And it's a big dragon. It is a big black dragon. And that word I just said, alright, I'm gonna try it again. Here we go. Akugonia means the black dragon. And it's pretty badass. And what happens is, they are there and they start kicking the dragon's ass. Well, as we think. But the dragon really not really affected, and its roar is just, blah, what did I just do that? I don't know. But it destroyed the island, a lot of it. So the dragon finally was doing a very loud, I was about to say Gaudio or something, I don't know, blast. So they all held hands, and that episode was like, oh, and it hits. So there was no island left. I was like, oh no. And then it says they searched for months, and at the end of that episode, 7 years later. And now this is episode 124, the 7-year gap. We're back. They've been partying. Partying. And Natsu, they came back and they're partying, because, it's welcome back. And they find out that, Fairy Tail has gone into debt. And they're to, a gangster-like guild. It's called, Twilight Org. And Makarov, the leader, he was the third leader, I believe. 1, 2, 3, yeah, the third leader of Fairy Tail goes and pays them a visit, negotiate a deal, and, we see the deal being negotiated. It's basically a rumble. But as he goes and visits them, Lucy's like, hey, I want to go see my dad. I miss him. And she, hasn't seen him in 7 years. And this is where it gets intense and, deep. And she goes and she finds out her father passed away. I think it was 1 month ago. 3 months ago. I was like, oh! And she returns to her, her home. She's kicked out, turns back, and there are presents on the table. They were sent every year by her father. The same day they arrived, and it was happy birthday. And I'm like, oh god, tears, don't come. And she gets the last gift that came that day, and she, the landlady takes the money, because that's the rent, the money rent, and just basically, Lucy always thought her dad didn't care about her, and reads this letter, and basically the dad says, "I've always loved you," and she just bawls, and I'm like, oh no. Is Lucy done? Is she done finally? No, but she's not. But this father relationship, she always thought her father didn't love her, and it's pretty intense when she finds out that, you know, he's cared for her, and he didn't know. He says, he writes in the letter, "I didn't know when you're going to receive this." He's been worried. That shows worriedness, you know, love, and isn't and Natsu and Happy try to, you know, happy her up. Happier up? Yeah, something like that. They try to make her feel happier, and that doesn't really work. She goes in, she cries, and the landlady's out there, and her outfit doesn't fit at all. And I see the landlady as a person now, upset. But to see Lucy cry like that, I was like, oh, Natsu, you better go up there and make her feel better. But, you know, the landlady wouldn't let him in. So, they're sitting there. Well, we get a next job to do. Let's run. They go to start their next job, and they're like, they tell Lucy, hey, we're gonna go start our next job. They run. They come back, and they're like, you want to come and all this, and they're running, and she joins them, and it's like, how can you go from sad Lucy to happy Lucy? And the theme of that was, you gotta move on. They haven't been there in 7 years, and the gangster fell into debt. Before the 7-year gap, they had a fucking castle. And then it fell into debt. You know, you gotta move on, you gotta start again. I was really, really sad, but there's one part I want to talk about that really cracked me up. It was... Alright, yeah. I found it, I'm sorry, I had to pause it. My family came in, but... It's when Gray sees Leon again, and Leon just falls in love with Juvia. And Juvia's in love with Gray, and Juvia just pulls out this entire love circle cloud out of her butt, and I'm just laughing because I thought it was very ironic, because one of the ice mages loves Juvia, and it's not Gray, and she doesn't want any part of it, and I just thought that was pretty funny. But this has been my kind of conclusion of the entire span from before Little the 7-year gap. I haven't talked about, you know, all the episodes leading up, because I'm going to start fresh, and I'm going to start catching up. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes down. I'll just watch them on Crunchyroll. But, yeah, again, this is my second review of kind of a time span. Not a long span, but I need some feedback. Hope you guys liked it. Out.